to be mad based on how that game was ending, especially after Michael got caught at second. You're like, no. It's just like everything was building up.
Look, let's
not
be
even
real.
the Estevez
was not the finest display of baseball last night by either team at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals, most importantly, did get the win. They've won 2 in a row. They are in position to guarantee a series win with a victory tonight against the Rockies. But it did have everything, man. Let's start with Drew Waters and what he was able to do, and then get into Freddie Fermin and, of course, Carlos Estevez and what unfortunately happened to him in the 9th inning with walk after walk after walk, and his worst outing as a member of the Kansas City Royals. Drew Waters has a career night, though. Drew Waters ended up with a career night for the Royals, and now if you go back the last couple of games, other than Bobby, basically, he's been the hottest hitter on the team. Now, you can say that's not saying much on a team that's worst offense, second to worst offense in baseball right now. But maybe that's something to keep an eye on the rest of this week and moving forward. We already knew, of course, with MJ Melendez being sent down, Drew Waters is going to have every opportunity to play here for a bit. He played a ton on the road trip anyway, and all of a sudden the bat for at least a couple games in a row now has come alive. We know they need anybody to contribute in that fashion. I thought that was a real positive to see from Drew Waters in particular. Without him, offensively, they had nothing else going. So until Freddie had the walk-off hit in the bottom of the 11th.
No, I mean, it was just Drew Waters. And look, I've been critical of Drew Waters because for the most part, in the time he's been up in the big leagues, I would just say it's not been an overwhelming display, right? I haven't been like, yeah, there's the former first-round pick, and we understand that that's where he was coming from originally. There's the former first-round pick, and the Royals unlocked the keys to the car the way that they had done that with some of the pitching guys they have traded for. And when he first came up, he once again did not look like some all-world beater. But occasionally, and this is how it works at the bottom of the order, I don't need you to be Bobby Wood Jr. every day. I just need you to have a day. Yesterday, Drew Waters had a day. When the rest of the offense wasn't available, he was, and he had his single best game as a member of the Kansas City Royals. I mean, he's a homer, he's got a triple, he's got, he's reliable for the game-winning runs, what they needed him to do. I mean, he did every other than, and that would be nitpicking, the at-bat that he struck out in the 10th. Other than the one, and again, I'm not nitpicking, it's not worth it. He had contributed too much to that win to be like, hey, but could you do one more thing, at least in that? Could you have been perfect instead of great is essentially what you'd be asking there. Drew Waters and Freddie Fermin, I hope woke up this morning feeling awesome about the contribution they made to the Royals win yesterday because they contributed more than all of the players you would anticipate doing it, other than Chris Bubich, who was probably the single biggest contributor because he went 7 shutout innings.
Yeah, Chris Bubich was stellar again. This is not a fluke with what he's been able to do now. This is multiple outings going back to last year when he came in and made his 2024 debut against the Colorado Rockies in Colorado. Remember, at that point in time, it was just a relief outing. And now in this rotation, he's a legitimate number 3 starter for this baseball team. And that's never the starting pitching has never been questioned here to begin the season. It has always been about the offense, and then do they have enough in the bullpen to get it done? And last night, for a while, it looked like this was going to be a 1-0 game. They get the insurance run, and then we all know what happened in the 9th inning with Carlos Estevez, who had his worst outing as a member of the Kansas City Royals. This is somebody that had, out of the previous 9 wins, right? They now have 10, but they had 9 wins heading into last night. He had 1 win himself, and he had 5 saves. Last night, had no control after getting the first 2 outs. Back-to-back walks. And you were looking at the scenario there. Should they have pulled him after walking 3 in a row at that point in time? I'll listen to that argument. I think if you're Matt Quatraro,
right after the 3rd walk.
If you're Q, you're probably thinking, look, he's our closer. We're gonna stick with him. He's a veteran. He can get out of the spot. But last night he just didn't have it. He simply didn't have it. I'll say this. I already saw the first text. I knew we were gonna get that already. 913-586-7965 about Carlos and should he be the closer. It is
after one bad
outing. Someone said it should be Lucas Erceg. Look, I love Lucas Erceg as well. Lucas Erceg is legit. He is somebody that they trust in the high leverage spots, whether it's the 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th, to go and get outs. Carlos Estevez, I just mentioned 5 saves, 1 win, heading into last night. This was his worst outing of the season, and maybe his only really bad outing of the season. So if you're telling me that you don't want to be a closer after last night, that means you didn't want to be the closer to begin with. And that's fine, right? That's your prerogative. But that means last night was not why you don't want to be a closer. You didn't want to be a closer to begin with.
Period.
And if you're changing after one outing, I'm sorry. Like, if he has 3 more bad outings, then yeah, we can have a conversation, right? But I feel like, Cody, this could have happened a month from now, and that same text would come in. He could have 7 more consecutive outings after this one now where he's perfect. And then on the 8th one, if he screws up, people say he shouldn't be the closer. We got to get rid of the mindset, though, that the closers have 0.0 ERAs and that they are perfect. Hell, look at Emmanuel Clase, who was the best closer in baseball for 2 straight years. Look how the start of his season is going. It's just crazy to me. Are we doing this all over again like last year? We're doing the whole thing again?
Yeah, and I guess part of this is just... I'm not saying he can't have an emotional reaction to a team because that's pretty common.
Someone says the one win is because he blew a save. No, it's not. He had a 2-inning outing over the weekend on Sunday, as a matter of fact. So, no, it's not because he blew a save. He pitched 2 innings on Sunday. He snapped the losing streak.
I think he got the no decision in the blown save, for what it's worth, in a game that I think they eventually lost. So, like, I'm not saying...
Someone says, this is. I'm sorry, guys. I knew this was going to happen. It drives me crazy because I saw it last night as well. His other outings have not been sweat-free. Didn't say they were sweat-free. Again, nobody is claiming he's the best closer in all of baseball, that he's going to be perfect. I'm sorry, our expectations for the team can be high, can be to win the division, all that. That's real. I'm sorry, you have an unrealistic expectation for a closer in 2025 if you think they are going to have a 0 ERA. You can say, well,
they would like Emmanuel Clase from last year. They
I would also
like Wade Davis in the World Series.
I would like Mariano Rivera as my closer as well. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. Like this stuff pisses me off right out of the gate because I saw it last night and we're 5 minutes into the show and I knew this was going to happen immediately. I'm sorry, you have an unrealistic expectation if after one outing last night you think he shouldn't be the closer and if you're just not happy with his performance so far this season.
He has pitched in now 10 games for the Kansas City Royals this year. He has given up a run in 2 of them. That's it. Every other outing, he went 2 scoreless outings, gave up a single run. He took the loss in that game when he had blown a save against Milwaukee. Then he had just gone scoreless all the way until, he gave a run in that. That ended up being a blown save, even though the runner was already on second. Technically, it wasn't even an earned run. He didn't give him an earned run until April 7th. He waited 3 more weeks, and then he gave up 3 earned runs last night. He was bad. And
of course he was bad last night.
The bigger part is I would have pulled him at the 3rd walk. Because he got the first 2 outs, and then he just lost his command, and it was pretty clear he was not going to throw a strike unless it was going to be in the heart of the plate, which he eventually did, and then the double led to it. But I'm with you in this. I'm not saying there's never a time to question a player.
Yeah, let's see. If he has 2 more bad outings here over the next 4 or 5, then yeah, let's have a conversation. I'm just saying if after one outing, and some of you are saying it's not just one outing. Again, if you're saying that he needs to be 1, 2, 3 every single time as a closer, again, unrealistic expectation. Someone says
0.91 ERA going into the game.
Someone says, hey, Gold, Urseg is just better. Debate that. Okay, if we're just arguing like who should be closer, go back to when we had HDH in this town. You guys remember I think it was 14. Maybe I got 14, 15 messed up. Greg Holland was not the quote-unquote better pitcher than Wade Davis. But guess who closed at times? And actually, that entire season.
I guess the argument is...
Not Wade Davis.
The argument is that I'm not even getting in the debate about whether or not who you think is the better pitcher. Because you could make the argument for Urseg. That's not in the debate that I feel like I need to have right now. The argument is I want Urseg's ability to be available as the true fireman and Estevez to be available in the 9th. Like, that's just, I want them to have the order that they're doing. And part of it is not pretending like you don't want Urseg to close. It's pretending like Estevez stinks. He doesn't stink. He's quite the opposite of that. He's really good, actually. Most teams would prefer to have him on their team. That's the part I don't understand. But this goes to the same thing. Last week, I had someone texting seriously into the show saying they should send down Vinny Pasquantino to AAA, hit Jack Caglione 3rd. And I'm just like, sir, I'm sorry if you're listening. You're an idiot if you genuinely believe that. That's a stupid take, and you're a stupid person. Like, that's it. Okay. Like, you can have a stance on baseball, or you can just have an idiotic stance that makes 0 sense in this world. Like, I could come on today and be like, Kyle Wright should be their number one. Bench Reagans. I can say whatever I want. None of those things would make any sense. That'd make the same sense as sending Vinny Pasquantino down to Double-A and trading him out for whoever they got in Single-A ball. It's crazy. Some takes are crazy. You don't have to say, but if your take is Estevez stinks, you're just wrong, I think. That's just a wrong, factually incorrect statement.
Yep.
You could say you don't want him to close. Whatever. I don't, I wouldn't. I'd probably
I'm
just
just
leave
saying
him there,
again. If you were ready to make that jump after last night, it doesn't
People
make a
were
whole
on
lot
the
of sense.
ledge last night. And look, they won the game. Could you imagine how much worse it would be if they'd lost?
Well, it should have been. That would have been the worst loss of the season if they would have blown that. Because he was bad, to say the least, in the ninth inning. That Maikel Garcia, as great as he's been the start of the season, bad base running error. Right? This is stuff that is flat out bad baseball. And for a while, it looked like it was two teams that are bad baseball teams playing bad baseball.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what it was.
Base
for a
running
bit.
errors. Royals were walking everybody. It was sloppy.
They found a way to get it done. Thank you, Freddie Fermin. That throw to third base, by the way, to pick off, what's his name? Oh, gosh.
I don't remember who it was now.
Starts with an M.
But it was electric.
Played for the Angels a year ago. Oh, my gosh.
I don't remember who got picked off.
He's playing center field for the Rockies. It's going to drive me crazy. Whatever. He picked him off.
Text line
Mickey Moniak, I think.
Okay.
Great throw. And then, of course, the walk-off hit in the extras. So thank you very much.
Did you see it was like a really subtle moment, but did you see the small moment? So right before Freddie was going to talk to the crowd, Bobby on the live mic was like, hey, man, make sure you thank Kansas City fans. You're like, look at Bobby. Just doing a little coaching on the side, just letting him know what to anticipate. Look, I'm not saying they're going on a 5-game winning streak. They've still got problems as a team. Offense being the most notable
and that's probably what's because we're all frustrated still with an offense that is not hitting.
It's awful.
If another area that's been a strength for you all year, pitching, has one moment where they lapse. Now we overcompensate. I think that's honestly what's happening because we're still very, very frustrated, and we know that this offense is not good enough to get to where they need to be. And you're trying still, look, while the offense is trying to figure out, I don't know about you guys, I'd rather them find ways to win games in any fashion. And that's what they did last night against a bad Rockies team. But you don't apologize for that. I'd rather them be winning while they're trying to figure it out than not. So tonight, they got another chance against the Rockies. They still count as the same wins last time I checked. The Rockies aren't 0.1 wins, and the other ones they still do count as full wins.
Yeah, it was a lot more nerve-wracking than I wanted it to be. Look, I was on the same spot everyone else was. When they gave up the 3-run double, it's like you couldn't even just give up the single, dude. You couldn't
he was bad last night.
It was like, and then when they didn't score in the 10th, they get that pickoff. I'm like, oh, my God. Okay, you survived it. Problem solved. And then when Drew Waters struck out, I'm like, uh-oh. They didn't score in the 10th. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Because that goes back to the bullpen. It's anytime bullpen stuff is really tough because anytime the most recent outing for you is a bad one, people are ready to just jump off. Because I'll bet there's someone who thinks that Daniel Lynch should be closing for this team. And I think Daniel Lynch should be pitching in high leverage situations. I do not think he should be the everyday closer. Even though he was great last night, helped him win the game, helped him close out the game. He did his job, no question about it. He's been one of their best relievers. But I think the Wade Davis Holland one's probably the most interesting one. Sometimes even the best pitcher for me. For years, the Cleveland Guardians, they were then the Indians at the time, they had probably the best relief pitcher in all of baseball. They did not use him in the 9th inning every time. They used him in seriously, mobile situations where they wanted to get him against 3, 4, 5, or they wanted to get him against those spots. And so, I like the ability sometimes to use, even if you think Urseg's their best closer. And again, I'm not sure I would argue that one way or the other. I think it's probably close. He doesn't need to be out of the high leverage situation. He just had a bad night at the office. And good news is I don't have to feel that bad about it because they still won. He chose a good night to be bad. They still won the baseball game.
They absolutely did.
Also, all this got us, we didn't even talk. Chris Bubich shoved. We can talk about him more later. He went 7 shutout innings, and they don't even miss Brady Singer a little based on the way he started the season. Hell, he's been a improvement based on what they were getting out of the number 3-4 starter last year. So, yeah, I'm feeling I mean, I still feel terrible about the offense. I'm not going to sugarcoat that.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll get to another rumor involving a wide receiver that could be on the move come draft night, which is tomorrow in Green Bay. But what is Adam Schefter saying could happen at pick 31? This is Shefty talking about the Chiefs.
They're still trying to shore up the tackle position despite all that they've invested in it in recent years. A player like Josh Simmons from Ohio State would make a lot of sense to me going to Kansas City at the back end of round 1.
Josh Simmons, another national name, saying that's
their guy.
Who they believe.
Red Team's just not hiding it well if that's who he really wants.
Either they did a great job bluffing every national media member in person they have connection with and telling them they love
Josh
Simmons.
Connerly.
Yeah. I mean,
this whole time.
One of the two is going to happen there. It sure seems like it. I mean, that name more than any other name has stood out. And everybody has acknowledged that's who they like.
Look, I do think that they want a tackle. I mean, what answers long-term do they have a tackle? They have a 2-year deal on Jalen Moore. You and I both know that's a 1-year deal. And they have a 1-year deal left on Jawan Taylor. They don't actually have a long-term tackle. 0 of them, to be clear. They only have a guaranteed 12 months of play, barring no injury, mind you, or they have to turn things over back to Wanye Morris. The reason why I'm convinced they'll take a tackle in the first 3 picks is even if he's the developmental guy, he is the backup for Jawan Taylor, and he's the backup for, and he's the backup for Jalen Moore, and you get your ability to develop him slowly as you go there. I still am not convinced it's in the first round. Part of my reasoning is because I think Simmons is going higher, not because I don't think they want Simmons. I actually don't think they're hiding it well. I think they want Joshua Simmons. I think it is the only guy in the entire, like you had mentioned yesterday, and everybody has, it's true. It's hard to get a tackle at 31. Really hard to get a starting left tackle at 31. It's not a common spot. How do you get a starting left tackle at 31? You find the hurt guy. You find the guy who has reasons to get down to 31 that if everything were perfect and the scenario was ideal, he'd be going 11th. That's how you get him at 31. So their hope genuinely is that the guy fails just enough medicals to get to them.
Because of the issues with the O-line over the last 5 years, 5 different Super Bowls, 5 different left tackles, is this one of those unique circumstances? I'm curious from you guys and the text line and Chiefs fans. Are you good with them taking a pick that you know is not going to contribute in 2025? I think in this circumstance, maybe I'm way off.
It's the one exception I'd make.
I think this year you could get more fans to buy it. And I'm not saying you should draft based off of what fans want, but I wonder if there's a little more acceptance to that versus in the past you might have said, no, they have to draft somebody that's going to help them in 2025. Because the three-peat run is over and there's an understanding about what has happened for 5 straight Super Bowls with the left tackle position, I wonder if there's more of a understanding that you can wait a year to see the results, maybe, if it means that I'm going to get 4 years of starting left tackle play moving forward. By the way, that risk, that trade-off, I don't know how you would, if nobody can guarantee anything, but if you can tell me they are pretty darn confident.
I'd do it.
That the guy we're going to draft, he's not going to play this year, but we're going to get 4 years of a starting left tackle after this. If they deep down believe that, then it's a 1,000% the correct pick.
You and I have done this show long enough. You know my stance on first-round picks. 99.9% of the time is, guy better start this year. Guy better be a contributor, right? Like a serious contributor right now. Even at pick 31. That guy needs to be like either heavy in the defensive line rotation, starting for you at guard, starting for you at safety, one of the important offensive weapons. Like, they need to be a valuable member of the team this year. Tackle's the one exception I'll make. Because if you get it right, I understand the logic of, well, we got to push it down. And this draft this is the other part of it, Gold. This draft allows you, because you might find bona fide starters at 2nd, 3rd, and 3rd round picks that can make up for what I'm missing in the 1st round pick, where you might find guys who can be a part of the defensive line rotation, be a part of the corner rotation, be valuable weapons at wide receiver or running back. Immediate contributor types are available in the 2nd and 3rd round. So, like, year/position means that if they take Joshua Simmons tomorrow at 31, I'm good. Even though normally that would be against my normal draft strategy, I'm okay.
I still, and maybe this is what it will take to get him. I don't, trading up, giving up that extra 3rd round pick to do it, not a huge fan, but I would say, again, if you deep down believe that you are finding a guy that's going to start for at least 4 years after the rookie year that he's going to sit out and redshirt, basically, then of course it's worth it. Someone was asking what's the injury for Josh Simmons. In October, he hurt his knee in a game, first half of a game.
Torn
patellar tendon in his left knee. That is the injury that otherwise, if he didn't have that, he'd be a top 15 pick.
Well, the update, I looked it up. The update is that he
maybe
could be cleared for physical contact in August.
Yeah, which for the Chiefs, that let him take his time.
Are we sure that he's not going to be ready to go? Because he might be good enough.
The report today is that, and it's probably from his agent, that said he could be cleared by camp.
That's what I'm saying, is that if we, not that there's any debate about Jalen Moore, but
there is debate on Jalen Moore. I think that's fair to say.
Tons.
Yeah, it's unknown.
If he's good to go in August and we know that he's healthy, why would he not have a shot at the job? Well, why would you even waste a? I know
they
you
would
paid the
give
guy,
him a shot.
but
I don't
if
think
he's ready to go,
yeah.
then and would have gone in the top 15, then give him every chance he has. And
the question is
his contract.
Yeah, the question is just his agent trying to prop his guy up the night before the draft here, or is that actually the case? Like, what do the Chiefs who brought him in for medicals, do they actually believe training camp is realistic or not?
By the way, it's not just compete against Jalen Moore. Let him try to beat out Jawan Taylor too. What's the difference here? They're both on
Jawan
1 year.
Taylor's going to start right.
They're both on 1 year deals. Try to let him beat both.
Yeah, Jawan Taylor will be right tackle week 1.
Why couldn't you put him in the same competition? I guess
because I would say, what team in the NFL has a $20 million player sitting on the bench and not playing? I mean, that's the sad reality of it. Like, just what team does that?
I mean, I'd have to go digging. I'm sure it exists, but I don't have a good example. I'm sure it exists, but it's probably not a good example, and it's probably not often, Gold. I'm not here to try to claim that there's I got 45 names over the last 5 years in which a team eats that kind of money and they aren't a regular contributor. Kirk Cousins on the Falcons is probably the only example I have right now, and it feels like he's probably going to get traded.
Be on the Falcons, yeah.
They had him on the bench for a half a season last year, which is a slightly different scenario than a full
that's getting
year.
That's getting benched mid-season, not heading into a season where they just said, you know what? No, it's not your job. You're gonna make $20 million to sit your ass on the bench, and you're not a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get it. It at least makes some sense. I mean, we have to at least get to this because I'm assuming you guys were watching AAA last night.
That went over the scoreboard.
That sounded good.
Another jack for Jack.
That's a good one.
Jack Watch. Last night, Jack Caglione, who we were going to watch Saturday, May 3rd in Springfield, Missouri for the Cody Gold road trip, went 3 for 4. He had a double, a single off of Clayton Kershaw. He also walked and got hit by a pitch. So, in his 6 plate appearances last night, he reached base 5 of 6 times, Gold. And Jack Caglione is now up to a 288 average, 367 on base, 515 slug. He has 20 RBIs in 16 games, 9 walks, and 18 Ks. The only stat right now you don't like is the strikeouts, because he'd be a pace to be a 200 strikeout guy in the major leagues, just based on the fact he would do it. JJ Piccolo on this show, and then we can tell you how, if you want to come on the road trip, you can. JJ Piccolo on this show, I thought you and I read it the same way. He made it pretty clear. It was not what Jack does in AA. It is who he does it against. The fact that he got 2 hits off of the lefty of a generation last night, even in a rehab start, even at age 37 years old, I'll be honest, it stood out more than some of the other hits I've seen, because that was an absolute rope double off a lefty, and that lefty's name was Clayton Kershaw. And I know he's 37, but go to the stats last year. It's not like he was mediocre last year because he was hurt. The year before, he was like a Cy Young candidate. So he's not that far off from being Clayton Kershaw.
Oh, it was a cool moment going in when you found out the news that he was going to have an opportunity to go up against him. And, the bats that JJ Piccolo talked about a few weeks ago with us, at-bats, who's the pitcher, what's the situation, how does that go into it is more important than just the complete numbers that you look at. You just pop up and look, he's hitting 288, and you're like, okay, good enough. There's way more to that. Playing Clayton Kershaw and hitting the way he did and going up against him, that's impressive.
If you want to come see Jack Caglione play, Saturday, May 3rd, the Cody Gold road trip. Tickets available at 965thefan.com. $10 right through the link, right on the homepage. This is the last call if you want to order the T-shirt and are going on the trip. The T-shirt are for the people who are going on the trip. You need a separate link to order the T-shirt. Just text us, 913-586-7965. You got 30 minutes to get the T-shirt order in, because then I'm going to place them in with the company, Ray Gun, so we can get everybody the shirts. when we do it. You have to pick up the shirts in person in Springfield at Harbells, Harbells, from 3:30 to 5 before we go into the game. But if you're going down the trip, you need the link. I've already sent it to a couple people this morning. Let us know, 913-586-7965. We already have we're now, like, if I'm rounding by just a couple of people, 130 people heading down to Springfield to watch Jack Caglione hit. So it's going to be an awesome time. If you guys want to come on the trip, more details up at 965thefan.com.
Do I sense that you guys are secretly rooting against him playing
Come
well?
on, I wouldn't say rooting against. I don't need him going 4 for 5 every night for the next 9 games. Like,
Just
if he
get
went,
on the road trip
tonight,
next
would it be
week.
the worst thing of all time?
Just get on the road trip next week. That's all.
Yeah. I don't need him getting to Omaha. I'll say. I don't need him getting to Omaha in the next 10 days. I'm feeling good about it. History's still on our side on that one. Although he is hitting very well, and it stands out. He's a very good baseball player.
It's been a hell of a start to the show. They need to change their closer, and because Cags had 2 hits off of Kershaw, he's now ready for the majors. It's a hell of a start to the show. I'm really enjoying it. I really am. Thank you. 913-586-7965. The text line is on fire today. Up next, let's talk about Jameson Williams, who could be on the move tomorrow night, and it's Kansas City linked to him. That's next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
It's the spring sales event at Rob Sight Ford, and I'm here with the man himself, Rob Sight. Rob, you already stole the spotlight. Now what are you trying to take?
Just your attention, Kevin, and maybe a few trade-ins. Now, we've got up to $14,000 off new Fords with employee pricing, plus our own dealer discount.
$14,000. That's hotter than your Sunday barbecue.
Exactly. And unlike your burgers, these deals won't dry out. We've got hard-to-find inventory, huge trade-in values, and our non-commissioned sales team makes everything so easy.
No pressure, just real help. Even I'll admit it, it's the best place in Kansas City to buy a car, and I don't hand out compliments lightly, or seconds.
That's a fact. And don't forget, we're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 reviews, and 0 grill marks.
All right, Rob, I'll give it to you, man. You're cooking up some real value over there.
Come see us at 135th and State Line or visit robsight.com. But hurry, these deals are sizzling and inventory is moving fast.
And tell him Rob sent you. No guarantees, but he might throw in a hot dog.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hey guys, Underdog just became one of the best places to make entries during the basketball playoffs with their Extender program. With the Extender, you can play your way to increasingly bigger boosts each round of the playoffs. Start with the playoff series by using the Game 1 boost and continue boosting each subsequent game to unlock the next one. The longer the series, the bigger the boosts. Underdog is one of the leading places to make all your sports selections, and you can play now in your state. That's right here in Missouri. Underdog is one of the fastest growing sports game apps, and you can play it in your state. Look, millions of fans have already won billions playing at Underdog. Are you going to be next? Download the Underdog app today and sign up using that promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to unlock a special offer for up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TAPP. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
The grass patch, howling flowers. I'm talking redbuds, dogwoods, begonias, lilacs, marigolds, pansies, impatient daisies, and mom's not the word. Come on down to the grass patch. The grass patch high on grass. Come on down to the grass patch. The grass patch high on grass. We'll roll out the turf for you.
Has your home been on the market without success? An expired listing can feel frustrating, but it doesn't have to be the end of your journey. The Sharp Homes team specializes in turning things around. The Sharp Homes team can give you options. Do you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold? Contact them to discuss their instant offer program. In fact, contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp with the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. You can Google them at Sharp Homes Team or visit them at homesforsaleInKC.com and start packing.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
Fix their IRS longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the Cave or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Coming up in 25 minutes, we'll get to the latest news around Kirk Cousins. According to Diana Rossini, who could be involved in a trade? Could we have a trade today or tomorrow involving Kirk Cousins that could shake up the draft a little bit? Tell us how some teams are feeling about their current quarterback situation. But there's one player that could get moved that maybe is linked to Kansas City. We're talking about wide receiver Jameson Williams of the Detroit Lions. He posted a cryptic message on social media. There's been some speculation in some NFL circles, according to CBS Sports, that the Lions could trade him, former first-round pick. This is his final year of his rookie deal. The Lions actually have to decide by May 1st if they're going to pick up his 5th-year option, which is why the trade rumors are being driven, because they haven't chosen.
They want the other team to allow to do that.
Yeah, I mean, they have a week to make that decision. Williams then posted on social media, quote, "Stay sucker free." And so everybody's.
What would you say if I posted that?
I would say, what are you doing?
If just we're talking about like them trying to be like, I can't believe people want Estevez out of the closer role. Stay sucker free, if I just posted that.
I would say, who are you trying to be? I would say, who hacked your Twitter account? But anyway, there's a couple teams rumored. The Bears in division trade, Raiders, Cowboys, Saints. There's even been some speculation. Would Kansas City be interested? We mentioned the George Pickens stuff a day or two ago. My question with Jameson Williams, why would Kansas City fit here? He, to me, is similar to what they have in Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy. And you're like, well, Hollywood Brown's only on a 1-year deal. So is Jameson Williams. Unless you pick up, make the trade, pick up the 5th-year option. I guess you argue you would have 2. He's a burner. He obviously has missed some games due to off-the-field issues. Him and I could host a betting show together. That'd be a lot of fun. But I don't think this is a good fit in Kansas City.
Probably not a good idea for him unless you guys are just doing like NBA futures.
Yeah.
Versus, I can't remember. He was betting outside the team facility, or was he betting on football? I don't remember which his story was.
That was like his rookie year, wasn't it?
Okay, so he does fit the mode of guy with not football trouble, off-field trouble. Again, as a reminder, I think the Chiefs like players, don't mind players. That's probably a better way of putting it. Don't mind players with off-field trouble. They don't like players who don't like football. There's a difference. They don't like players with on-field football trouble, off-field. Anyway, so the way I look at this is, it's a 1-year deal, and I view it very similar to George Pickens. As I told you the other day, for 1 year, I wouldn't mind seeing what the Chiefs' offense looks like at its maximum power. The appeal of this one, what would it honestly take to get Jameson Williams? A 4th? I mean, I think they're just going to be handing him away. I don't think he's going to get if they're not picking up the 5th-year option, he's still expensive because he's in the 4th year of a rookie deal. If you want to pick up the 5th-year option, then he's really expensive. You got long-term answers at wide receiver and Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice, probably, but no Travis Kelce next year. You pick up a 5th-year option, you got 3 guys going into next year. I actually don't kind of hate it because I can buy the 5th year.
He's doing what he's going to play. You have Xavier Worthy. He'd be in the same spot as Worthy in terms of
Would you like this more than Pickens?
I guess because they both are candidates to be traded for a reason. One is a complete headache on the field and pouts when he doesn't get the football, but is far more talented. That's George Pickens. The other, Jameson Williams, not as talented as George Pickens, but I don't know if he's going to make a dumb decision off the field that's going to lead to a suspension. The Chiefs already have a wide receiver that might be suspended this year, so I'm good. I'm good on both. Thank you.
You don't need another player who's got. And look, Worthy stuff all went away, and obviously...
Yeah, I'm talking about Rice.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just saying, like, they don't have, like, I was just stating that, like, every player on the team's not going through something, at least, at the moment. And the Rice one is weird to me. Like, when Nate Taylor came in the other day, am I supposed to start thinking that the NFL just doesn't care about Rashee Rice's problem anymore? It's been a really long-ass time. He has that I can find, 0 criminal charges that I can find. It's going to be, like, June or July before his civil part states, if he doesn't sort it out or settle it before then. I don't know, man. I think you should be more on board with this one. This is like Pickens, but without the on-field trouble, right? Like, Pickens has trouble, but he's he has the report of, like, throwing up his hands or quitting on his team or whatever. That's not Jameson Williams' rap. His is that he got in trouble for betting in a way he wasn't supposed to, and the injury stuff that was coming into the league a little bit. Don't you want to see what the Chiefs look like with, like, 4 weapons 1 year? And this is a low-cost weapon. If it cost me a first-round pick, we're just having a different conversation. And some of the Rashee Rice stuff I told you is dependent on what percentage chance the Chiefs think he's getting a long-term extension. Buy myself time with Jameson, I can finagle it. And how big of a leap do they think Xavier Worthy's taking in year 2? He's like a 700-yard receiver or 650 last year in the regular season.
Yeah.
Excellent in the postseason, obviously, across the board. Like, some of it is, like, that big of a leap. My guess is that the Chiefs are not going to be in the market. But the Lions... Is this, like...
There's no way they trade him to the Bears in the division.
No, but I think they have to make some heady moves. I think if the Lions want to stretch this thing out for a long time with Jared Goff and then eventually whatever quarterback they draft after it, I do think that they're in the spot now, like, it can't be all in every year. If you try not to be a laughingstock or go back to a laughingstock 2-3 years from now, it's time to start making difficult decisions for the long-term health of your future. I actually think that that's the wise thing for the Lions to go about it. Why not trade him to the Lions? I don't know. Teams do this. Or to the
Bears.
Why not?
I would just be surprised. Even though more teams should be willing to trade in division, teams are always fearful of doing that for more optics than anything else. But those are, that division has done it more than any other division, right? The Vikings and Lions made a trade for TJ, involving TJ Hawkinson. That worked out pretty darn well for both parties involved. The Lions have Sam Laporta now, and I think TJ Hawkinson has been pretty darn good, even though he had an ACL injury from Minnesota. So that division has been willing to do it more than some others. So that's a name, and tomorrow we'll go through a bunch. Jamison Williams is one of the names to watch today and tomorrow, not necessarily to the Chiefs, but to get traded on draft day. I guess it could be a day 2 draft trade, too, because it's not like you're involving a first-round pick with Jamison Williams. So maybe it's this Friday night trade or a Saturday trade.
At the earliest? Does that seem like the highest you could possibly get for him on the market right now?
I would be shocked if you could even get a third.
Me too.
Right?
Me too. That's what I'm saying. Like, highest, like maybe like you get a third, but you give a fourth back, or you give a fifth back, or you know, like the value chart, which we can look at tomorrow for the Chiefs. But there aren't that many wide receivers. So if I need a wide receiver and I was unsure on Egbuka or Tet or Burden or any of these guys where it seems like there's kind of a lot of question marks for each individual wide receiver, nobody seems to want to admit who is the number one guy on their board, and it seems to be a lot of variance.
Yeah.
If you're not sure, Jamison Williams, former first-round pick, that's the other thing that always intrigues me with Brett Veach. Why I always make them a player is he's done it like 5 or 6 times. He loves former first-round picks that didn't work out with the previous team. It's like one of the things he did. Yeah, it's like when he talks about trading up. He's more likely to trade up, and if he's trading for a player, he likes him to have previously been a high draft pick that now he gets to work with. Whether it be Kadarius Toney in a previous year, or in this case, Jamison Williams. Toney was a first-round pick, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, but the Giants.
That was a whiff.
You think?
Yeah, that was
just a little bit.
That was a bit of a whiff.
It's the Giants whiff, though. See, that's the thing.
Sometimes
it's the Giants whiff, not everybody else's whiff.
Sometimes I get accused of saying that too soon on a player, so I just want to be clear. I think we've had enough time to know for sure. I don't think it's going to work out for Kadarius Toney. Just hypothetically. You want to talk way too early? The text line is on getting Jack Caglione to the bigs, getting Carlos Estevez out of the closer spot. They're ready to make moves.
Mm-hmm.
How about ESPN.com putting out their insider list of the way too early trade predictions for every single MLB team?
Yep.
So in this case, they're guessing if they think you're going to trade for or against, other possibilities. So like, in the Detroit Tigers case, because they've had a good start to the season, they've got them trading for a number of players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus trading against. The Royals, you want to talk about the hedge of all hedges? Whoo! This is who they... does anybody want to take a guess? Drew, you got a guess for who you think they're suggesting?
They're trading away or trade for?
I'll just give you a hint. Based on the fact that they started a little bit slow, this article came out, they are trading someone away in their hypothetical far too, as in it's April 23rd. The idea of talking trade at all seems kind of crazy.
I mean, if the season were to go south, there's a couple names that would be obvious later in the year if they were in that position. Guys that are veterans with control, or a couple years of on their contracts. So you're talking about, and they wouldn't do it this early, but you're talking about the Lugos, the Lorenzens, maybe even Carlos. There's veteran players. So it's a vet.
Not bad on that. It is a vet. It is Michael Lorenzen.
Okay.
Considering the Royals out of nowhere playoff season, it wouldn't be necessarily a surprise, it says, to have them take a step back. But it looks like they're going to need some offense. If the lineup doesn't come around, teams will certainly inquire about Seth Lugo or some of the relievers, but Lorenzen would be most likely to be traded. Weirdly enough, the Michael Lorenzen trade, the reason why I brought this up, even though you and I would not normally discuss trades, is that if it came down to that later, it would be a way to get a bat and you have coverage. The Royals have 2 starters pitching well in the minor leagues. They still have Kyle Wright, as you had previously mentioned, and Alec Marsh.
He's on IL.
They might be able to cover a Lorenzen if that were to take place later in the season in a way that if there was a team who was willing to part for that for the, how this works, the outfield bat who's can play 70% of the time that's got some pop, this is probably
it's way
the
early
most
for
likely.
that.
Oh,
even.
it is.
I
want to see him hit.
The Royals aren't trading.
I'm bringing it up because it was brought up on ESPN.com.
The Royals aren't trading their 5th starter in the first week of May.
That'd be crazy
on a team that currently is still 4 under 500.
If they traded Lorenzen straight up for a corner outfielder, like an okay corner outfielder, you know what level I'm talking about. He's an okay starter. Let's say it's an okay corner outfielder, and they just said Alec Marsh is healthy. He's going to be the 5th starter now. You good?
They would have to.
I don't think they do it May 1st. I'm just asking, would you be good if they did?
Yeah, they would have to feel confident that Alec Marsh could come back and give them what you expect out of a 5th starter. That's the only way I would be willing to do
what
it.
If it was one of the minor league
the thing that you're making, what's dicey about it is you're also banking on year 1 through 3, 1 for 4, I guess, staying healthy in the rotation, right? We discussed that heading into the year.
Oh, for sure.
They had great injury luck and health last year, and this year you're probably not going to have the same luck on the injury front in pitching. And so you do that and you become thinner, and then you all of a sudden you have one other injury, and then you're like, well, shoot, it would be sure nice if we had that would be the question. Now, later in the year, if the team is within striking distance and they feel great, Alec Marsh is pitching well in AAA or whatever it may be, or you mentioned Kyle Wright at some point could be an option, then yeah, you got to trade away something maybe to get it. I think you'd be more willing to do that than giving away a prospect or something at that point.
It's very tempting. It'd be very tempting to me because the coverage between the two guys we already mentioned, but then Noah Cameron's made 4 starts down there, has pitched 20 innings and has started well. Avila's been off to a good start, has pitched well. So they've got, I'd be tempted, not in May, but June 1st, if I was still, a month before the trade deadline, I'm the earliest team on the market. If these guys continue to pitch well in the minors, it is probably the most logical one on paper today. Things change, things move, your team's record, a million other things. But there is I think there's in the early view of it, it makes the most sense of any of the available options. Somebody's now asking, said, I'm glad they sent MJ down. Just want to see if Waters can keep going. Look, Waters was hot in AAA, so we can hope. MJ did not have a good day in his first day in AAA, but give it some time. He went 1 for 6 with 3 Ks. And the same thing as rooting for as before. I hope MJ Melendez hits 500 in AAA. I hope Drew Waters continues to hit 2 so that they're not forced into a decision between because the fear, truthfully, and you agree, is that they get stuck between a decision between do we trade pitching for hitting, thus weakening the true strength of this team? Do we have to rob ourselves in order to do it versus just count on the people we have in the system to hit? That's what I don't want to happen.
The other part of this equation too, and this is why it's tough when it's this early, is you can say I'm willing to trade X player to go get an outfielder. Okay, well, give me a name. What team is going to be willing to actually make that trade?
Early.
Too early to tell. Way too early to tell.
I don't even.
And also, the Royals, given how they
have to give you the names from last year.
How the Royals have performed, I mean, you also have to see in 3 weeks, are they still in 2-3 games under 500? Are they 8 games under 500? Are they 5 games above 500? Where are they at as an organization? I mean, if the thing really were to go south over the next 2 weeks, the 25 game stretch that we talked about, if it ends up putting them further behind, then there's multiple names that come up. But the reverse could also happen. So it's just way too early to tell. Anybody telling you that they're sellers or buyers on April 23rd, that's crazy.
What do you think is the draft equivalent of the conversations we've been stuck in baseball-wise? What's the either draft or Chiefs equivalent of call Jack Cagliona or, because for a while we might have thought it was start Tooney at left tackle. I'll be honest. There was a stretch that might have been I thought it was kind of crazy to put Joe Tooney at left tackle. And look, in the end,
they did. Yeah.
It worked until the end. I'm trying to think. It's got to be trading up for Genty in my brain or something. You know what? They should trade into the top 10 and take Mimbo. Is that the equivalency?
No, because that one's not even. Yeah, I mean, it just the conversation right now. I mean, other than the Carlos thing from earlier, the Jack stuff. Everybody's excited. That's why we're doing the road trip.
Oh,
he's going to get called up at some point. But I still, every single night that he gets hits, we're going to act like he should be in the big leagues? That way, we're going to do this for the next 2.5 months.
He was 1 for 16 in a stretch, or 1 for 20.
Is this what we're going to do?
Yeah, probably
every freaking day.
Do you not remember what it's like to have
oh my goodness,
This is what it was like with Bobby, And then there was the flip side.
Yeah, but the other problem is at least when Bobby was coming up, he truly was viewed as the savior, and he is. Caglione is, I think Vern put it well. He's like, if Caglione gets called up this year at some point for the big leagues, he's not the savior. He's an added weapon. Cags is not coming up and carrying the offense to the playoffs.
I don't want him to feel
that's not the role he's going to have in 2025. Now, in 2026, can he be part of that and be that dude? Sure. But I guess that's where I'm trying to figure out. What is everybody's expectation? Let's say he gets called up and it's July 25th and they're 4 games out of a playoff spot. Are you expecting him to be the added weapon? I would be. Are you expecting him to suddenly just carry the offense for 2 months as a rookie? No.
No, I want him to hit 250 and hit a homer a couple times a week.
Sure.
You want to know the truth? That's what I want. I want him to hit home runs pretty regularly, and I want him to hit 6th and hit 250 and get on base at like 315 is probably what I would take in his rookie year. But do I want him to be the savior of the offense? No. Honestly, it's a dangerous sign if you start thinking about him that way because that's asking too much. Don't forget, go to 965thefan.com to look at those tickets. They're $10. You'll see them right on the website. You buy them through there. They're $10 because of the ticket deal we've got with the Cardinals. We're going to watch Caglione on May 3rd. And you got about 10 minutes to order the T-shirts. So if you want the shirt to go with it, which is optional, by the way, and you need the link, 913-586-7965. I will send you the T-shirt order form. You have to pick them up in Springfield at Harbell's from 3:30 to 5. We will hand them out there. I can text you the email or the shirt order form if you want to do it. Right now, we got like 130 people going. And I think like 100 shirts or something that we'll probably order at least. So if you just want to be sitting with us, I think we're all in section like K and J, and there's like one of them next to it.
Any of them behind the third base dugout.
We're going to cause a scene. Honestly, this will feel nice. For all the time in my life that I had to go to a Kauffman Stadium and watch Cardinals fans take over Kauffman, I want us to be disruptive to a Cardinals game of some kind. This is our chance to be disruptive to a Cardinals game. Maybe it's not in St. Louis. We're just going down to Springfield. But same rules apply, right, Cole? We got to be disruptive as Royals fans against Cardinals fans in their building. I looked up capacity. I looked up average attendance. Average attendance for them is like 4,000. I think with like 150 people at least, we can, like, you're going to see the blue. We're going to be felt in the stadium, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh, when he steps in the batter's box for the first time. That'll be fun.
Stay sucker free.
Is that going to be a shirt that you wear as well? You're going to have that on the back of yours.
Do you want me to try to order one of those with the CAG shirts from Ray Gun?
Say that
if the Chiefs trade for Jameson Williams, I feel like we have to actually get a T-shirt made.
just for that moment.
That's fair.
Yeah,
we can ask him to get some shirts made that say "Keep sucker free." You know,
stay
sucker free.
Yeah.
Sorry,
stay. I think it was
a little bit of both.
You've been on fire today, Cody.
That's a stupid take, and you're a stupid person. Sorry, I was mad. I get a little fired up about baseball sometimes and football and other sports because I don't know. It just feels like the argument I've had to have with every person for like 2 weeks in a row. I'm like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired.
You and Gold both are on fire this first hour.
Are we salty today? Are we a little spicy?
I'm just very annoyed with the same conversation, or just I feel like history is repeating itself. One bad outing from somebody, and now he needs to be replaced, and it's just
that
kind of stuff drives me crazy. Drives me crazy. That's all.
You have commonly said that. Because, like, you think that I give up on players too soon sometimes, like in the NFL. And
look, maybe I'm
I tend to be patient too.
And maybe I'm too patient with some players, and that's fine. But like, I'll tell you what, I feel pretty darn confident saying that Carlos Estevez has been one of the better relievers in all baseball, and then last night was awful. And it doesn't mean that he needs to lose his job. And when people text that in, yes, it does annoy me. It drives me crazy.
Isn't it crazy? He had pitched 9 games and had a 0.91 ERA going into that game, and now we're like. The walks are a concern. He's walking too many people. Agreed. But last night, because somebody statted his walk rate today. He's like, well, this walk rate, which is the highest in his career, is concerning. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I went ahead and looked it up after 9 games. It wasn't a career high in walk rate. Sure, when you only have 10 innings to your name and then you walk 3 guys last night, you're at a career high walk rate 10 games into the season. You know, like I'm not saying the walks aren't bad, but it's just like it's a balance. That's all.
People are warning you, Cody, that you are going to go to jail in Greene County. That's not a fun place you want to go. Wrong jail to go to if you're going to be rowdy in Springfield. It's not a good one.
It's going to be rowdy.
You said you were
have fun.
I know you said
our presence felt.
Mm-hmm.
You suggested that there's going to be not.
You said you're going to make a scene.
Yeah,
I think is what he said. That could mean a lot of things, though.
Yeah,
that could be a bunch of different.
I didn't say obscene. Those are different.
All right, coming up next, though, let's talk about the latest rumor around the draft. Could we see a veteran quarterback on the move today or tomorrow, and where? That's next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Spring storms, as in we're supposed to get more rain today, tomorrow. You're going to find out how your roof's looking. CenturyRoofingKC.com. You can book a trustworthy inspection with the Century Roofing team, and that way you don't have to worry anymore. I've been telling you, I heard I heard a drip. I'm like, well, I don't like that. Don't want to hear a drip. Had them go up there, take a look. They're like, just a couple of small repairs. You don't need a roof replacement yet. We'd tell you if you needed it. You don't need it right now. It's a no-pressure inspection where they're like, here's the list of things we'd fix, and this is what we would recommend you fix. It was so nice, so easy, a detailed list. It was a no-pressure, no-cost inspection, which they'll always do over at Century Roofing. So whether it be the hail that came early last year and you're like, man, do I have enough to contact my insurance company? Or the hail that could be coming this week, do you have enough to contact your insurance company? Write down Century Roofing now so you don't just have somebody come knock on your door, don't know how long they've been around in the KC area, don't know if they'll be there to stand behind their warranty. Trust a local company that's got 35 years of experience with a warranty they will stand behind and honor, and over 30,000 roofs done in the Kansas City area and voted Best of Johnson County 3 years in a row. So schedule your estimate today with KC-based and female-owned Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength. Go to CenturyRoofingKC.com and tell them that Cody sent you.
With us is Dr. Jason Annist of KCUC, and we're talking about men's health. I just saw blood in my urine. Should I be concerned?
Yes, that is definitely something you should take seriously. Blood in the urine is a common symptom of bladder cancer. It's not unusual for blood in the urine to happen only once, but that doesn't mean you're in the clear. There can still be a problem lurking. 1 out of 30 men will get bladder cancer at some point in their life. You really should talk with your doctor, preferably a urologist.
Is bladder cancer treatable?
Bladder cancer is very treatable as long as we catch it early.
And what are some of the options?
Treatment usually starts with a same-day procedure at the hospital and then may continue with additional treatments in the office.
Are there risk factors that make me more prone to bladder cancer?
Anyone who has smoked in the past is going to have a higher risk. And in fact, about 2/3 of men who get bladder cancer have smoked. It's not always the case. 1/3 of people have never smoked in their life.
See the experts at Kansas City Urology Care. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. To make an appointment, visit kcuc.com.
March 2012. That's when we started Connolly Plumbing Solutions. It has been a wild ride. If you have had us take care of plumbing issues for you, we thank you. If you haven't, next time you need a plumber, we would love the opportunity to win you over. Locally owned and family operated, serving the entire Kansas City metro area. Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. Call 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Hey, it's NBA champion Bill Wennington. It's the best time to be a basketball fan. All the thrills and the playoff drama, done sitting on the sidelines and ready to win some real cash? Check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 posterizes the competition, including prize picks. Hit all your picks and score higher minimum payouts on Pick 6 Plus. Even more cash if you outscore the competition.
Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code 965. That's code 965 for new customers to play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins. Only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000. Or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's rexbuyskc.com, and I look forward to working with you.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Take me out to my TV on FanDuel Sports Network. Yeah, yeah. Royals games, announcers, and more Royals games. Did I mention they have the Royals? Stream now.
Kansas City, this is Michael Massey. Listen to the play-by-play all season long with Denny, Jake, Ryan, and Stu right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the trash of the day in about 20 minutes. Reminder coming up later on in the show, Jay Binkley, our draft insider, going to join us in the 1 o'clock hour. But we do start with some draft speculation there. This could impact the draft. The latest from Diana Rossini this morning. She says that the Steelers, the Browns, and possibly the Vikings could be involved in a trade around Kirk Cousins. We all know by now Kirk Cousins is the backup quarterback in Atlanta after being benched in favor of Michael Penix. Kirk Cousins has a large contract still. That's why it's been difficult to move on from him. He, of course, has, I believe, a no-trade clause, too. I think he has the ability to kind of pick his destination. Cleveland at one point was interested already, but they balked at the contract. But now Diana Rossini, as we're a little over 24 hours away from the opening round of the NFL draft here in 2025, that the Browns are still looking into it. The Steelers are looking into it. And the Minnesota Vikings. We'll get to the Vikings in a second because what the heck is that telling us? Let me start with the Browns. Cleveland was at one point weeks ago interested based on reporting, and they chose to just bring in Joe Flacco, and they traded for Kenny Pickett. Yep. So what, they're going to have Pickett, Flacco, and Kirk Cousins?
Maybe they want a real answer?
What's going on there? You're going to draft Travis Hunter maybe at 2, and then you're going to bring in Kirk Cousins for 1 year. The Steelers makes a ton of sense, right? Are they confident Aaron Rodgers is going to come back and play? Is he retiring? Are they done with waiting? Kirk Cousins in Pittsburgh would be the best possible landing spot, I actually think, for Cousins because he would have nobody that could potentially replace him in season if he doesn't perform well. Whereas the Vikings, we can get to McCarthy in a second, but let's say they even just gave him the starting job in week 1. There's a chance if you don't perform, you could be replaced just like Michael Penix replaced you by J.J. McCarthy. So Pittsburgh, to me, is the best spot for Kirk Cousins. Now, out of all those teams, who needs Kirk Cousins the most? Also, Pittsburgh. So what do you make of this report from Diana Rossini, who's well connected in the league?
I mean, the first two teams make all the sense in the world to me. Like, those teams just felt like teams that have picked up quarterbacks to make sure that they technically have a quarterback on the roster, Gold, not like feel confident about it or like their choices or anything outside of that, right? Just like he's a physical body that they have available to them. The end. The Vikings is the most telling one. I actually think Kirk Cousins probably should just go be a Steeler. Try to get yourself traded there, then you kill the Aaron Rodgers thing. Aaron Rodgers is forced to retire because then he's got nowhere to be. I don't think you're losing the job. I don't think they'd also be like, yeah, Aaron, you know what? Come on by and let's see what happens and let's take you in again as like a warm body? No. If they go and get Kirk Cousins, they're kind of done, and he knows he can be a starter there. And I'll be honest, I think he'd probably have success. There are weapons there. It's a good organization. Even Russell Wilson finds him way into postseasons there in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. So, sure, that makes sense to me. The Browns, it's just like they're stuck in no man's land. I think the truth is, I think the Browns really want a Cam Ward, and that they're going to end up trading back for Sanders or Jackson Dart or whoever they liked second best, and they wouldn't hate the idea of a saltier veteran than Joe Flacco in order to do it, or Kenny Pickett. And I kind of respect that. I probably wouldn't make the move if I was the Browns. I'd just draft one. The Vikings, I told you from the beginning, all they do is make moves that makes it seem like they don't like J.J. McCarthy. Everything they do indicates they're just like constantly looking for someone.
In fairness, they haven't made any other moves.
No.
Like,
I meant like the rumored moves.
Okay.
They're having meetings with Aaron Rodgers. They're entertaining trading for Kirk Cousins.
Gotcha.
All of it somehow is like circled in this like, we don't really trust J.J. McCarthy, but we don't want you to know it yet. We're not so untrusting of them that we're willing to make the moves, but there is some doubt, either health or play, with J.J. McCarthy. I'm not sure which one it is, but the Vikings have cast some doubt on their trust in him.
I think it's fair. Yeah, we don't know what it is. Yeah, either the recovery's going really poorly from McCarthy and in the knee, or they're watching more and more, and they're like, oh boy, he's just not ready. And this is a guy that they spent a premium pick on a year ago. It's one of the two. I agree with you. If, in fact, Kirk Cousins gets brought in. Because if Kirk Cousins gets brought in, he's starting week 1 for the Minnesota Vikings. But again, if I'm Kirk, while you're familiar with Kevin O'Connell, so you like that, you're familiar with that city, your family obviously spent a great deal of time there and everything. The spot there for Cousins would be a little weird only because I could see the exact same thing happening to him again. As in, he doesn't perform well. He might just not have it anymore. And it's J.J. McCarthy replacing him in week 10 of the season, just like Michael Penix did down in Atlanta. And that's why, if I'm Kirk Cousins, I'm hoping Aaron Rodgers either doesn't decide or just announces he's retiring soon. And then the Steelers say, all right, Atlanta, what's it going to take?
We can't actually start Mason Rudolph, even though we're telling teams that.
Because I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to get benched for Mason Rudolph.
I think what's really important in the Kirk Cousins part of it, one, he's just like he's a pro's pro, right? I think everybody's established that, knows that about it. The Steelers should still be in the drafting a quarterback department, and I think they will be.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the general lack of readiness out of those guys, bringing in Kirk Cousins to be the starter for a full year while you kick it with Jackson, so you don't rush Kenny, you don't Kenny Pickett this thing. So you just let Jackson Dart or Jalen Milroe or whoever, right? Sanders, and let him sit behind Kirk Cousins and make sure that he's comfortable. That actually seems like a really smart, this is why I feel like he'll end up in Pittsburgh. The Steelers are a smart organization. You know what that seems like? A smart way to go about business. We take our quarterback, we feel trust in it, we think he needs development, we let Kirk Cousins do it for a year. Because if it's Mason Rudolph, they're going to be coming for his head. Like if it's Mason Rudolph and then Sanders is behind him, let's just say they tried to do that. He's not going to, pitchforks outside of Heinz Field or whatever the hell it's called now.
Yeah, Acrisure or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's, Acrisure. They should have stuck with it. It doesn't matter.
So whoever's
it's like
writing the check.
Or anything else.
Whoever's writing the check.
I got it.
It'll
Take
always be Heinz Field. It'll always be Heinz Field, which was also a sponsor, obviously. But yeah, this one seems, the fact that it's coming out now, this one I actually expect to happen. Like I actually believe by this end of this week, Kirk Cousins could be moved. Do you guys think, or you think it's going to take a little bit longer?
I think it's way too awkward to leave him on the roster. So I think this week. I guess you could just like, if you're the Falcons, wait. And he showed up for voluntary workouts, even though he didn't have to do that. He showed up for voluntary workouts and was like, you know what? I'm here, like it or not, I guess. I think he wants to. I think but this is the crazy part. Part of the reason I think he showed up is because he understands the leverage of like making you uncomfortable. Like everyone's like, ooh, Kirk.
Yes.
Hey. You remember like this is the equivalent of like you're at a high school party and everybody didn't invite the one kid, but he found out anyway, and you're like, oh, glad you made it. and nobody actually wanted you at the party. I mean, that's the equivalent of what Kirk is doing to them. He is forcing them into an awkward situation.
No, it's
I
all
think
part
to
of the
try to
plan.
get traded.
It's
I
all
think
part
he's
of the
also a
plan.
stand-up guy. I think he's going to show up. It's just who he is.
You just think he shows up to work? I don't know, man.
I
I would say that, yeah, but I mean, he also just he took Wednesdays off or whatever the hell in the middle of the season. What was the day he took off? What was Kirk's day?
I think it was
Remember
Wednesdays.
we learned that in Netflix.
I think it was Wednesdays.
And
he just took the whole day off. He just didn't show up to work. He just took it off. It's kind of crazy.
And he's on that
Work life balance, baby.
quarterback show again this year, so we'll see.
I did see that. I am fascinated because no matter where he ends up, he's kind of an interesting character at the end of last year because in that season, he's going to get benched. And as you remember, because they had Mahomes winning the Super Bowl, it went a little different. They just stopped showing Mariota for the last 4 episodes of that show because I think maybe everyone was uncomfortable or I don't know.
Oh, he left town.
Yeah,
Didn't
he left
Did he go back to
town.
Hawaii or something?
Yeah, he did.
He just got the heck out. He was like, I'm done. I doubt Kirk Cousins did that. Kirk Cousins again was on the sideline holding the clipboard or whatever, and seemed like he was being a good teammate to Michael Penix in that moment. But obviously he wants to start again. He doesn't want to sit there, and I don't think he'll end up being the backup in Atlanta by the time we get to week 1 either. But that's the latest from Diana Rossini. Someone on the text line was wondering, do we think that Shedeur Sanders, let's say Kirk goes to one of these spots and also Sanders is drafted, do we think Sanders will sit behind anybody in week 1 of the season? Yeah, I mean, how many rookie quarterbacks? Rookie quarterbacks can dictate maybe to a certain extent where they get drafted. Not Sanders, I don't believe. But
agreed.
Plenty of rookies don't start week 1, and they know. Like Drake May did not
50,
start.
50?
Jacoby
Is that about
Brissett.
right? Oh, yeah,
Jacoby Brissett started week 1. Yes, I think Sanders would be willing to be the backup for the beginning of the season. Plenty of rookie quarterbacks don't start week 1, and then they get their opportunity week 8. Look at Michael Penix. When he got drafted, they had Kirk Cousins. He knew he wasn't going to. In fact, there was a chance he wasn't going to play all year. It just happened that Kirk Cousins was so bad that Penix got an opportunity. So, yeah, this is what I meant yesterday. We were discussing people's feeling about Shedeur Sanders. Look, if you just think athletically and everything, he's just not a good quarterback, fine. But this is more about how people think he operates, arrogance, whatever. No, I do not think Shedeur Sanders is going to demand that you start me week 1 of the season or else. No, I don't believe that'll happen. No rookie quarterback is really in that position to do that. Now, if you're the number 1 overall pick, spoiler, Cam Ward will be starting week 1 for the Tennessee Titans. They can play it up like there's a camp competition. Cam Ward will start week 1. But if you're pick 17 or pick 21, yeah, there's a chance you're not starting week 1.
No, and I don't think that that's a bad way to go about it. All I'm saying is that if you, as you know, the worse the quarterback you have, like Jacoby Brissett, when you go with Jacoby Brissett, come on, I mean, you know, we all know that they're going to be coming for and asking for Drake May a whole lot faster, Gold, right? Versus when you got Alex Smith, not saying nobody ever asked for Patrick Mahomes, there's a lot more patience and time. So, when you get Kirk Cousins in there in Pittsburgh, people aren't just being Sanders, unless Kirk Cousins is awful.
I would
but if
be
he's
surprised.
playing okay football, you can survive a little bit.
I'd be surprised if they traded for Kirk Cousins and drafted Sanders, though. I think they're
Milrow, let's say,
a third-round pick,
whatever.
second-round pick is different. I would be surprised if they would. If you're Kirk Cousins, you were caught off guard when you signed with Atlanta and then they drafted Penix. Remember, the reports where he was very upset. He felt that they lied to him. He felt Atlanta lied to him. I doubt he's going to agree because I think he has a no-trade clause. I could be wrong. I doubt he's going to agree to a trade to Pittsburgh if he knows there's a chance that they already drafted the guy they're planning on starting more games than he is. Why would he put himself in the exact same spot again?
The only thing I would say is that Kirk Cousins has to know at this point that no starting job is guaranteed for him anymore. He doesn't have a guaranteed starter spot in the NFL. So if you can get 1 year as a starter, you take it.
But if there's
because
a spot
that could be
where,
the last starting job you get, you don't know.
Right, but if there's a spot where there's not a first-round
I'd rather
quarterback
go to Cleveland
taken,
if I'm given the choice. Sure.
If there's not a first-round quarterback from this year taken, the chances of you getting replaced are less, you would think.
Yeah, or it'd take an extra year, they draft behind you the following year, but maybe you'd get 2 years as a starter. How many more years do we have?
That's the thing.
Do we think Kirk Cousins has as a starter? Isn't he in his mid-30s?
Fair point. He turns 37 in August.
This is, again, the appeal of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have actually built their team to win now. TJ Watt, Pickens, Metcalf, and offensive line. They've actually built themselves to try to win immediately, this second. So if the Browns, the defense is probably built to win today, but and I don't know, maybe if they had a qualified starting quarterback, maybe I'd feel that way about their offense. But it's hard to feel that way about the Browns because they've just been such a joke of a franchise for so long. So admittedly, that's kind of throwing it off at least a little bit. Back to the Royals for just a little bit. Then we'll get to the Chiefs right half hour. Patrick Mahomes is scheduled actually to talk to the media coming up at around 11:40. We will carry that live right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Hopefully talking about the draft on Thursday night where you can come meet us at the Landing in Liberty for round one. Your chance to win $965. An autographed Chiefs helmet. Just come out, make your picks, select who you think is going in the draft. But I want to talk baseball for just a minute because I got asked this question, and I think odds can tell us part of the answers to these things as well, Gold, which makes it kind of fun. Right now, if I asked you, yes or no, I gave you $1,000. It's even money. You have to choose. Do the Royals make the playoffs? Yes or no? Like right now, what's your
even money?
Because before the season, I think your answer is yes.
Yeah.
Before the season, my answer is yes. So I'm asking right now, even money. I know the odds actually say it's plus 220.
Yeah, that's the problem. You're giving me crappy odds, man. You're giving me
just
crappy
take the
odds.
odds out of it. It's just a yes or no question, right? Every book in the world today is only going to give you even money for the rest of your life. You got to decide right now, today, are they a playoff team, yes or no?
Top 10 pitching staff in baseball. I'm not convinced that they are going to be the worst offense in baseball, so my answer is yes.
I think my answer is yes, too. And I think that that's really what it comes. And that's, I wanted to ask this for the same reasons. And this is why, and give me your reasoning why over in the text line, 913-586-7965. I'm with you. I think the biggest reason why, Gold, I would have a hard time changing from my initial prediction going into the season, what we had going is, I thought they were a playoff team. I thought they were a playoff team because of their starting pitching. They are still pitching. And I refuse, for the same reason I did 3 days ago, to believe that Salvador Perez and Vinny Pasquantino were hitting 190 for the entire year.
Yeah, if you're asking me, are they, because I think you're not asking, are they playing like one? No, of course not.
No, I'm asking, will they be, when 162 games are done, will the Kansas City Royals be in the playoffs?
Yeah, because I'm sure people were thinking, how can you say that they're not playing like one? Of course not. They're not playing like a playoff team. You're either banking that they can't figure it out or that they can, and which one has more of a track record with this group of working out? Have we seen them have good pitching with an offense that was capable? Have we always seen them be the worst offense in baseball or not? Have we seen them have a good bullpen or not? What do you think's real? What do you think is fake? Do you think some players are just going to have the worst years of their career, and three of them are all going to have, like, you think Jonathan India, Vinny Pasquantino they're both going to have the worst years of their Major League Baseball career? That might be
if
what
you
you're
think that,
banking
then they're
on.
not a playoff team.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah,
I got to be honest. If that's your
but
actual
they're
belief.
not playing like one. But just because they're not playing like one on April 23rd doesn't mean you can just say definitively they're not in the playoffs.
You and I have covered a lot of athletes in Kansas City. Can I say that Vinny Pasquantino might be the most honest player I've ever covered? This was him in the clubhouse yesterday. I think it was Harold Kuntz or Rob Collins. It was one of our friends over at Fox 4 who had gotten this audio asking Vinny about the way he was playing, and this is what he said.
I've sucked. There's no hiding from that. Not happy with my performance at all, but come to work every day with a good mindset, ready to do something positive for the team. So I'm not going to change that mindset.
I suck. Not going to say anything else about it.
I mean, he's exactly right. It's refreshing to hear from an athlete for sure. I mean, most of the time you don't get that.
No, I love it. I really do love it because it's a very telling thing about a guy who is telling you an honest opinion about his own play. And again, that's just kind of what it boils down to. A lot of it is if your answer is, and I understand the flawed logic of they'll just hit better, but they won't pitch worse. Like, I understand that, like, that's how, if I say, hey, they're pitching like this, imagine if they hit, people are going to be like, but imagine if they don't pitch like this. The pitching is already leveled out a little from the, like, they were the best ERA in baseball level they possessed for the first 10 games. So it's already leveled out a little, and they're still winning baseball games. I don't know, man. I just don't think the offense is going to be this bad. They score 4 runs, and they're an immediate winner, right? 4 runs is officially the magic number for the Royals to win a baseball game. Salvi's hitting 185. Vinny's hitting 186. Let's see. Who else is a regular starter? Kyle Isbell's hitting 217. Maybe that's more long-term than the other. India's hitting 195 with a 298 on base. Their career numbers are all 50, 60 points better than the numbers I'm reading you right now. So even if they're just having a career down year, Gold, and these numbers jump up by 25 points, how much better of an offense are they? That's really what it comes down to. That's why, like, if you made me ask today and it was just Gold, somebody, like, some random listener gave us $1,000 and he's like, hey, you got to bet it one way or the other. They're making the playoffs or they're not. But you don't get the odds on it. It's just minus 110 either way, plus 100 either way. I'd bet them to make the playoffs. I would. I understand, like, from a
You're giving me crappy odds, man. Give me
Yeah, I
crappy
understand.
odds.
That, like, technically, we could bet $1,000 on that today, Golden. We'd get 220 plus 220. So if you do think they're making the playoffs, congratulations. We don't live in a hypothetical world in which you just have to take the same odds. You can just bet the Royals to do it.
All right, let's get to it, Drew.
Trash of the day.
I don't know what science experiment maybe you did for the science fair in 6th grade. I'm not sure if you remember. Did you ever think about doing this one? There's an article. This is from Upworthy.com. A 6th grader decided to answer a question that I guess people have had. I don't own a cat, so I don't know. I'm a dog
Have you
person.
ever owned a cat?
No.
Did your family own a cat when you were a kid?
Always dogs. Okay. Always dogs. I have a dog now. I don't think I'll ever have a cat in my life. So, the headline on the poster board for the science fair project was, does your cat's butt really touch all the surfaces in your home?
Okay. Sure.
Is this a question people have had?
I mean, I guess just like, like the old, like when you'd hear like, I mean, cats do put their, like they sit on everything in your house. So asking that question, it doesn't seem like an absolutely ludicrous question to ask yourself. I'll say.
So basically, this 6th grader did a study. They put non-toxic lipstick around the butt, more specifically, of the.
Wait, they put lipstick on a cat's ass?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
one way to go about it.
To see if it
the
actually
non-toxic being important.
It touches all the surfaces in your home. They did this. They had multiple cats. They were then given a series of commands: sit, wait, lie down, jump up. Both cats have been trained already to do that. They were compensated with lots of praise, pets, and their favorite treats. The lipstick was removed with a baby wipe once they collected their data in under 10 minutes. The results? Turns out that no, cats' ass do not touch every surface
Wow, you know
cats
what?
sit on.
Does that make you want to get a cat more?
Phew. No, I'm allergic to cats. Absolutely not. I've told you, when I show up today after work, the dog's going to be excited to see me. The cat may look at me and run away 5 seconds later.
Cats can be excited to see you.
So,
I
team
think you're
dog,
giving cats a bad rap.
Team dog.
I'm just team animal.
Yeah.
Pro animal across the board.
Definitely dog.
I mean, if you're allergic to cats, I can understand why you're not. But, like, I don't know why you got to dismiss their personality. They just got a different personality than a dog.
A lot of them, man. A lot of them don't have any.
Have you
Are
been
you
around
surprised
that many cats?
Yeah, my aunt has like 3 of them.
Okay.
You go over there, they'd all just go hide behind the couch the whole time. Never saw them.
But that's
Never
for
saw
you,
'em.
not their owner.
Well, that's
You're not their owner.
That's my interaction, you know?
You like a dog that, like my dog jumps on people. Sometimes that's overbearing.
I walk in, dog's tail is wagging. Looks like she hadn't seen me. You would think she hadn't seen me in weeks. She didn't know any better.
This is not the science experiment I went with. Mine was related to like cleaning products as it related to like, I don't know, pennies or something. Maybe that was my brother's. I don't remember the exact question I do have about the science fair. Do they still show kids October Sky at school?
Oh, what a classic.
Is that?
What a classic.
Are they still? Drew,
have you
you're a
seen
little younger
October
than us.
Sky?
Are they still showing kids October Sky as a part of school curriculum?
That doesn't ring a bell, but that doesn't mean I haven't seen it.
Oh,
I guess.
Jake Gyllenhaal
came out in 1999, but I've saw it. I can't tell you how many times throughout school.
It doesn't ring a bell.
Multiple times throughout school. Doesn't ring a single bell.
His dad works in the mine. You know, he wants to build a rocket.
But then he's got to drop out of school to help his family in the mine because of an accident.
And what?
But then he still works on his rockets.
I don't think so.
Homer's his name. Yeah.
Homer.
All of his friends get. It's based on a true story.
Yeah.
I'm sure very few of it is how it actually went, but you know.
Dr. Von Braun, you know, that's his hero.
Dr. Von Braun. They go through the teaching you about perseverance and trial and error.
And his teacher gets sick, right? His teacher gets cancer or something.
Yeah. His inspiration teacher gets cancer. I don't remember why I had to go work in his mine. His
What a
dad
classic.
dies or
his dad
gets hurt?
His dad got hurt and was unable to work again, and so he had to go work in the mine. And his dad's an a-hole.
Yeah, his dad kind of sucks.
But then
his dad is probably like classic 1950s, 60s abusive.
Yeah.
Like,
But then his
worked in the
dad
mine
is like,
dads.
you know, we've got some unused concrete. I'm sure it doesn't work. I'm sure it's spoiled by now, but you can go try it for your landing
He helped
pad.
him.
He
He
did.
finally caved and let him help for the landing pad. He briefly gets kicked out of school because, remember, he gets in trouble at school because they think his rocket starts a fire. Dude, I watched that movie so many times in school. So many times. Lance is saying his school never showed it.
I don't think I've seen
This
it.
cannot be this would have been one of the things I thought was a universal experience.
Yeah.
Like I would have just assumed we all did this. But maybe not. Maybe it's just your school gold and mine.
Was it on like the
multiple
cassette tape?
classes?
Is
dude.
that how they played it? Was
I mean, it came out in 99, so there were VHS.
I mean, we didn't have
VHS.
So yes.
Yes, it was on
Not
a
a cassette
VHS.
tape, a VHS.
A
I wonder where it's
VHS.
streaming. Maybe we should watch. When was the
What,
last
where
time
they
you watched?
rolled the TV in on the cart and everything?
Of course.
For ES? Oh, yeah.
Well, by the time high school hit around, I think it got shown like
Projectors.
biology
We had
too, completely
projectors.
unrelated. We had projectors and we had like the corner TVs, you know? You're like squinting up there, being like, is this what we got? It wasn't like a 60-inch, you know?
Someone texted in 6th grade science fair winner here. Miracle Grow testing, none versus recommended versus double dose. You won for that? Nice.
What?
Did you have a science fair? Did you have to go get the...
We had science fair, but I did not participate.
Yeah.
We had to.
We didn't have to.
We didn't have to.
What?
Yeah, we didn't have to.
Yours were voluntary?
We didn't have to. Yeah.
Oh, we had to
My older
participate.
sister.
We had to turn
My older
us in.
sister had hers was like at Bartle Hall or something. Like going to they had like a district thing and a statewide one or something. Not mine did not. Either.
Yeah, there was like the next level of science fairs you could get to.
I think right.
Yes, there was. In our state, there was. Yeah. You did the school one, which was mandatory at our school. And then, yeah, you could jump up, to I think it was regionals, then nationals, I think was the idea.
Someone's questioning your history of watching that movie, Cody.
What do you mean? What part?
The movie came out in 99. No way you've watched it that many times in school.
I was born in... Okay, this is, I hate to break it to you. I am 40 years old. If it came out at... I'm just telling you, like, maybe it wasn't middle school. I don't remember the exact... I'm telling
26
you...
years ago it came out.
I have seen...
You were 14.
I have seen that movie in school more than once.
For sure.
More than one time. It probably wasn't 6th grade for me, but they definitely showed that movie.
All right, up next, let's get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. We're expected to hear from Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes right here on your home for the Chiefs, 96.5 The Fan.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
Maybe you're looking to become a scientist. Maybe you're looking for that new career like Homer was. Didn't want to work in the mines anymore, Gold. Centric, that's your path to a career in as little as 4 months.
Yeah, just 4 months. In fact, over 1,700 different companies have hired Centric grads. What's great about them, they don't just let you go through the program and then, all right, you're on your own. No, they're going to help you find that landing spot after the program as well. There's tech jobs available literally in every single industry you can imagine.
Yeah, they're building new server farms in Kansas City as we speak. If you don't think that those are going to come with jobs and technology, I think it'd be kind of foolish. Look, IT is the future of Kansas City. Let Centric make it your future. Reach out to our guy, Russ. He's been doing the program for 16 years. He will walk you through the entire program. Find out more at Centric.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
BetMGM is making your next golf tournament winner bets more exciting with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Ever bet on your favorite golfer to win a tournament only to see them miss the green? Well, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your tournament winner bet finishes in second instead. That's right. Simply bet on any player to win a scheduled golf tournament during a promotional week. If you're right, you win. But if your pick finishes in second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Watch your favorite players go for the win all season long and bet knowing you'll get your stake back if they finish second. Log in today and make your picks with confidence with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Our biggest deal is back. The tires at cost sale at Telly Tire and Auto Centers. You pay what we pay. No gimmicks, no catch. All in-stock tires from Telly's huge inventory at cost. Plus mounting and balancing by certified tire technicians for only $27.95. The top brands, the lowest possible prices, with with a 30-day ride guarantee and lifetime tire protection. There's never been a better time to replace your worn-out tires. These unbeatable savings won't last long. Hurry and reserve your tires today. Take care of your car. Take advantage of our sale. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for junk tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
This is Blake Fanning with Shawnee Mission Ford, here with a huge announcement. This month, it's employee pricing for all at Shawnee Mission Ford. Let me tell you one more time. It's employee pricing for all at Shawnee Mission Ford. You pay what we pay, not 1 cent more. You heard right. We got the employee pricing for everyone on new Fords. But that's not all. When you buy from Shawnee Mission Ford, you not only get employee pricing, but you also get our lifetime powertrain warranty, along with our 1-year Select Plus protection with your new vehicle purchase. This is what makes Shawnee Mission Ford different. You get all of it. Employee pricing on a great selection of new Fords, plus lifetime powertrain warranty, along with the 1-year Select Plus protection. And Shawnee Mission Ford is still going to offer you the highest trade values in Kansas City. Do not miss employee pricing for everyone. From America, for America. Shawnee Mission Ford, where we're on a mission to save you more.
Excludes 25 Super Duties, Raptor line vehicles, 25 Expeditions, and E-line.
Why do other agents have such a hard time selling your property? It's because they don't know how to price it correctly. But we know someone who does. Dawn Sharp and her team. Experience the Dawn Sharp team difference for yourself. The Sharp Homes team can give you options. Do you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold? Contact them to discuss their instant offer program. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp with the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Google them at Sharp Homes Team or pay them a visit at homesforsaleandkc.com.
It's your weekly O'Reilly Auto Parts checkup. Have leftover or used oil or a dead battery laying around? Visit your local O'Reilly store and take advantage of free fluids and battery recycling.
Auto Parts.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Here is your Game of the Week, presented by Hyundai. Baseball is in full swing as summer is quickly approaching. Two of the hottest teams in baseball right now will face off as Toronto will head to New York in a heated divisional battle. The lead in the division is narrow, but both of these teams will hope to rely on their all-star sluggers to lead the way to a series win through the weekend. Will the newly named USA Baseball captain lead the way, or will the legacy first baseman in Toronto come away with the series? Don't let the urge to sing along to that catchy tune distract you from that truck drifting toward your lane or that lane-splitting biker creeping up beside you. Fortunately, every Hyundai offers available class-exclusive advanced safety features that can alert you to potential dangers around you, and Hyundai has over 130 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. Because Hyundai is always working to ensure the road doesn't get you, IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus Awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
It is the Chiefs Red Half Hour, and we are awaiting Patrick Mahomes. Expected to hear from him in about 6 minutes or so. Be curious to see what questions he gets asked. I'm guessing a lot about Camp Patigan in Texas, who's been down there working with him. Someone might even ask him about his haircut. Who knows? That'll be some of the stuff, I'm guessing. And if there's, we joke because once they make a draft pick on offense, afterwards, Brett Veach of the Chiefs will say, we asked, Pat wanted you. Pat really liked you. So we'll find out.
The Clyde one was the one because before we knew what it is, I did see the Chiefs were, they had a virtual visit with your guy, Travion Henderson.
They did.
I'm a Quinshon Judkins guy. I'm not anti-Travion.
I'm more Dylan Sampson. Remember?
That's right. It was Drew's guy who was Travion. Yeah. I apologize.
Yeah, a little more Dylan Sampson for me, but Travion Henderson could be
the most fun result is that they all take one guy we've mentioned on this show.
At some point,
is our potential draft crushes. Just bring them all in,
Yeah, Bink's going to join us in the 1 o'clock hour. They put out their final mock draft. The Character Concerns crew did. Kristen Ocero, Jay Binkley. So we'll have Bink in studio in the 1 o'clock hour to talk more about that as we are just outside of 24 hours or so from the NFL draft, which is going to take place in Green Bay tomorrow night. We hope to see all of you at the Landing. Now, before we get to Patrick Mahomes, once again, this is what Adam Schefter said the Chiefs could do at 31.
They're still trying to shore up the tackle position despite all that they've invested in it in recent years. A player like Josh Simmons from Ohio State would make a lot of sense to me going to Kansas City at the back end of round 1.
Then this morning, Ian Rappaport sent out a tweet and said, quote, one of the draft's biggest curiosities is tackle Josh Simmons, a sure first-round talent coming off a patellar tendon rupture in October. While options vary, teams were impressed with where he was at the combine during the rechecks. He squatted 225 in April. He's already doing sled work. It's all positive, no setbacks. That's from Ian Rappaport. Also says Simmons could very well be cleared before training camp, an indication he's still considered a first-rounder. If that actually is what teams believe and not just agent talk, how the hell is he going to be there at 31? If teams the consensus is, one other team agrees that he's available by camp, how is he falling to 31?
Here's the biggest issue you're going to have is something you and I have discussed, Gold, which is it's hard to get a starting left tackle at 31. It's also hard to get a starting left tackle at 22, 27, 28, whatever else thing that you are considering or thinking about if you're a team right now also applies to them. So, if you're having difficulty getting a player at that range, if you're comfortable with the medicals, help me understand how he doesn't end up going at that spot higher. If you're just he'll be fine. That's why I told you, and look, I know you disagree on just how high, but this is why I told you I think he's going to end up going in the late teens, early 20s. I think he's going to end up going between 19 and 21. And if he doesn't go there, then no one's comfortable with his medicals. If he goes to the Chiefs at 31, or if he goes, I saw some people being if he goes 44. If he goes 44, then what you're talking about
then
is
the stuff that Rappaport just put out is his agent trying to squash some of the concerns.
He's trying to be
whatever.
he's fine. He's fine, because I understand why you'd be worried about an offensive lineman with a torn patellar tendon. And you have to be a team that is willing to sit on him. The one good news about the Chiefs is they are one of the few teams who I think would be willing to take a first-round pick, who they'd be willing to sit on right away, because technically they do have a starting left tackle and have a starting right tackle today. It's not that they don't want improvement, Gold, or they don't want a long-term answer, but if they had to roll out in a game in September, they don't have to have Joshua Simmons play today. A lot of times, if you're taking tackle in the first round, man, you need his ass. You're taking a guard in the first round, you need him to play for you now. First-round picks in the offensive line start immediately for every team, almost across the board, at tackle or guard or something.
That's why I wonder, because everybody's talking about Josh Simmons, if Kelvin Banks, for whatever reason, is at 18 or 19.
A couple of new mocks today. I know we're going to look at one.
Is he going to fall?
There's a couple mocks, and I know Drew probably has a new one for us here in a bit, but one of the mocks in the last 24 hours had Banks going inside, the top 17, top 18. So
if he's there at 19 or 20, do they just say, screw it, we're giving up 31, or we're giving up whatever else?
I don't think the Chiefs can get. I don't think the Chiefs can get to 19.
Because Banks is the guy. If with all the questions around, Simmons, Banks is the other one.
This is real downside of being good, Because again, the same argument is really where you want to be in the sweet spot if you're the Chiefs one of these years is you're picking 22nd, so you can trade up to 13 to get a tackle.
So Drew, you mentioned 19. So the way the draft chart works, each slot has for our listeners, I know but for our listeners, points are assigned per pick. Now there's different charts, but each team knows what each team is using. So for example, pick number 1 is 3,000 points. You would have to come up with that to get to number
Which
one.
pretty
Right?
much just like every pick in the entire draft
So
you have this year.
at 19, it's owned by the Bucks. It's worth 875 points according to Draft Tech, which is one of the charts. The Chiefs pick is 600, right? So they have to come up with 275 points. Well, then you look further on in the, later in the draft. Okay, pick 63 they have is worth 276. They could just trade their second round pick, and that might be enough to get it done. Or their 66th overall pick is worth 260.
And what's next year's second worth? Probably 100.
Pick 95 is worth 120. So you see, this is what it would take. Yes, could the Chiefs do it? Are they willing to trade their first and a second round pick to get to 19? I don't think they're going to be willing to do that. Nor, by the way, I don't think they should.
Kind of depends on how desperate they are, based on how things have gone.
To get to 24, Cody, or 23 to go get Simmons with the rumored Vikings pick, that's 740. All right. So you trade your first round pick this year, that's worth 600. Then you only have to come up with $140. All right, pick 95 is 120. You're almost there. You trade your later third round pick and then a later pick in this year's draft, and that's how you could get to 24. It's a little more realistic than having to give up your second round pick.
And you could look at what future picks hold less value for those who haven't seen these draft J charts before. So like they're a little bit harder in order to get to go through the effort, I guess is what it is, or to figure out the way to get the picks kind of to work out. But I don't think it's crazy to think the Chiefs would trade up. Part of me thinks that all this Joshua Simmons smoke with them in particular is because they like somebody else. Like they like Banks, or they like Josh Connerly, or they like some other guy that isn't him in order to kind of make it work.
All right, let's get to the latest mock. That's what the mock draft sounder means. We only have another day of these while we're waiting for Patrick Mahomes to speak. Where are we going?
All right, so we're going to make this one quick. We're going to look at Peter Schrager. He came out with his mock today. 1 round, 1 pick for the Kansas City Chiefs. No trades or anything like that. At 31, James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee. So they do not care about the character concerns.
Your guy Gold?
Take him at 31.
That was when we did our initial draft crush convo. James Pierce Jr., I would be very happy. I think he'll be there if they want him, honestly.
Who are your other? You guys
sounds like
you mentioned defensive line. Your guy was Nolan.
For whatever, a couple volunteers, I guess. James Pierce, Dylan Sampson. I like
what
Walter
is it with
Nolan.
Tennessee for you?
Walter Nolan's another name.
He's been hearing from Mac too much, about the Tennessee stuff. I guess Mac is giving an influence.
But no, Dylan Sampson, James Pierce Jr. Your guy Harmon, I saw there's some shoulder concerns on him, but this is
great. Down to 66. Honestly, can't believe it. Wouldn't trust him.
There's no way he falls to 66. There's no chance.
I will say there's a player every year that we say that about. I'm not saying it's him, Drew, but there's always a player that we say that about, and then they do go that late. So, again, I'm not saying it's definitively him, but there'll be one guy who is Ursary will go 21 or Harmon will go 66. There'll be a player that goes way higher than you think and way higher.
If we narrow it down to 3 names, I would love at some point for the Chiefs to draft. It's James Pierce Jr., Dylan Sampson, Alfred Collins out of Texas. Those are the 3. I like the orange color scheme, I guess. One's burnt, but the other 2 are volunteers. So Alfred James Pierce
has grown
Jr.,
on me.
Dylan Sampson.
Collins has grown on me. I mean,
they've been mocked to get Clemson linebacker Barrett Carter too, another orange.
Perfect.
I mean,
it's that A+.
I don't know if I want a linebacker though. Yeah, A+ body type. What was the other? A+ body type, great length or whatever it was. I think
premium length.
So Schrager only had the 1 round. He didn't dig in for all 7.
He said 1 round's all people care about deep down.
Did Burden go in the first round? I want to know about a couple of other players on Schrager's because those are always interesting to me.
How did Schrager have the quarterbacks laying?
He does not have Luther Burden going. He has Cam Ward 1. He has Shador going 21.
Okay.
Jackson Dart to the Giants at 26, so he does actually have a trade in this.
Ooh, okay.
So he's got 3
The
QBs.
Rams, and that the Rams pick at 26?
Yes.
Everyone thinks they're trading down, so they'll probably trade up. Anytime it's
and that's it.
I don't know. Maybe we've just done more draft talk this year. I don't know. Does anyone feel like there is even more than normal, a little too much consensus that we must all be way off base? A lot of everyone thinks they're trading down, but we can get to that a little bit later.
All right, let's go out to Arrowhead and hear from Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
I can relate. We'll start with Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Patrick. I know you guys, it's early and you guys are just getting started right now, but are there things you see, things that tell you that maybe the passing game this year is going to be what you maybe hoped it would be last year? And how confident are you that you can get to that point? And Sid, I'll have one quick follow-up as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously everything looks great right now. I mean, getting the guys back healthy, as far as Rasheed and having Hollywood fully healthy and Xavier in year 2. I think the offense has a chance to be really, really good. It's just about keeping building. I'm excited to kind of have these guys again, just with we've had a lot of turnover in the receiving room, and it seems like the core group will be back in its entirety. So the goal is to try to build on it and get even better and try to get back to some of the explosive passing plays that we've done in years past.
Yeah, you mentioned Rasheed. How's he looking? And what are your expectations for him, given how he was playing at the time of the injury, but now he's coming off the injury?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the expectations are high. I mean, he looks really good. He's running routes. He's catching the football. I don't know when we get back into the actual OTAs, how much he'll be able to do, but he's been able to do everything here as far as running routes and everything like that. And I know it was unfortunate that how he got hurt last year, but it was so early in the season that he's going to get pretty much a complete off season, which I think will be big going into this season.
Next, we'll go to Sam McDowell.
Hey, Patrick, and Sid, I'll have a quick follow-up, but just when you look back at last year, obviously you guys in the offseason had put a big emphasis on the explosive and downfield passing game. When you look back at it now, how do you just diagnose that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like we got to the goal that we wanted to. I think the injuries definitely affected it a little bit, but my goal is to be better and trying to give guys chances down the field. And I mean, if you look at the only real positive, I think, from the Super Bowl, was the second half of me just kind of getting back to, we got to throw the ball deep. We have to push the envelope. And you saw Xavier making some big plays down the field. And so trying to take positives away from that and from the rest of the season as well is we got the guys. It's about me trusting them, making the throws downfield and letting them make plays.
And then just how do you map out this time with the guys? I mean, I assume you've got some sort of blueprint that you go by. Does it change year to year? Can you kind of just give us a sense of what that's like?
Yeah, it changes a little bit. I mean, I think we start off with some therapy in the morning, some stuff to get the guys' bodies right, get a nice workout in, and then get to the field. And even though we're not in person, we're still doing virtual meetings. So you know what the coaches are talking about, and it's about taking those routes to the field, explaining it to them the way I see it, and the way the coaches see it. And so that when we get back in the building here in a couple weeks, guys have a jump start of what we expect and how we're going to go about our business. And like I said, it helps that this year it's a lot of the same receivers that I've worked with previously. And so not a ton of teaching. A lot of guys know what they need to do. It's just refining their skills.
Let's go next to Vahe.
Hey, Patrick. I wonder if there's any difference in mentality for you coming off a Super Bowl win versus coming off a Super Bowl loss in terms of how you enter the grind of the offseason, if it's a different sort of motivation. And Sid, if I could have a follow-up too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty motivated anyways, but I think when you get some of those tiring sets or tiring reps that you're in the workout, you have something in the back of your mind that you're kind of pushing towards, and you have that bad taste in your mouth from the last time you stepped on the football field, and you kind of have to hear about it all off season. So it gives you the push that you want to go out there and be better and show what we're really about.
And when you referred a moment ago to needing to be better, I was wondering what you feel like your own points of emphasis are this off season, and what it is as you examine last season that you really want to try to enhance.
Yeah, I mean, there was opportunities in games for deep shots that I either didn't take or we missed barely. And I think if we can get back to hitting some of those throws, I mean, we preached about this last offseason. It opens up the rest of the offense. And so that helps the run game. That helps the medium pass game, everything. And so you want to get back to that. Defenses are starting to creep up a little bit more and forcing us to get back to the deep throws. And so we have to be versatile enough to be able to do both, hit the deep shots and hit the underneath stuff. And that's when we'll be at our best.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Matt Derrick.
Hey, Patrick, and two questions if you have time. Curious if Gardner Minshew is down there with you, how well you know him, and what kind of perspective and different voice do you see him bringing maybe to the quarterback room than you've had in the past?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, I've obviously just kind of met him through passing. He's been down here working with us, and I feel like we're gonna have a really good quarterback room just in general, and I think having Gardner, a guy that loves the game, comes in with the right mentality every single day. And a guy that pushes the envelope, kind of like what we've been talking about. And so I think having someone that's gonna push me to take chances down the field, it'll be big to continue to work and build our chemistry on the field, but also push each other on it as well.
At the combine, Brett Veach said that he and Matt Nagy talk about the fact that maybe you know too much at this point, that maybe you see things that defenses don't even do now because you're that far advanced. But said it, so much of it just comes back to settling your feet and trusting the protection. Does that resonate with you? Is that something that you feel like that you agree with and you see too?
Yeah, in a sense. I mean, I think just this last year, especially, I don't like sometimes you give guys too much credit and knowing what the coverage is and how it's supposed to be played and you know what your reads are. But at the same time, you still have to go through your progression, and that's something that I have to continue to do. So even if it's a too high coverage or whatever it is, there's still chances for me to throw the ball down the field. I have to go through the progressions the right way and trust in the play call and trust in the protection. And that's something that I'll try to get back to this year and something I have to continue to get better at.
We'll go next to Todd Levo.
Patrick, a couple of things. First off, looking back at the tape and everything you went through last year on the line at left tackle, you guys had some struggles here and there. What was that like going through all that, and what do you like about the moves that have happened so far for you guys to kind of shore that up? And I'll have one little quick one after this.
Yeah, I mean, it's the guys that were battling, that are trying to find their spot in the NFL to compete and be great. And I thought guys did good jobs. Obviously, the Super Bowl left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, but I thought throughout the season, guys stepped up and made big plays happen and protected when they needed to be to protect. And I think this year, just trying to solidify the group, bringing in a guy like Jalen Moore and a guy that's played some snaps, learned under Trent Williams, someone that we have big expectations for. It's just you get a core group of guys that you want to solidify, and you never can account for injuries and stuff like that, but hopefully a group that will be kind of together throughout the entire year. Because when you look at the great offensive lines, a lot of times it's a unit. It's everybody. It's not just one guy here and there. And so we're excited for it, and there'll be healthy competition in camp. But we'll find the 5 right guys that we'll go with, and we'll have guys behind them ready to go as well.
And then you talked before about getting a new look with the hair. You finally pulled the trigger and cut the hair. What went into that decision? What's the reaction been from folks for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've wanted to do it for a while, but it was kind of one of those superstitions. I kept winning the Super Bowl, which is a good thing, but I didn't want to cut the hair while I was doing it. And so I had told everybody during the season that win or lose, if we win 3 in a row or if we lose, I'm getting a haircut. Like that's enough. And I'm very excited. Like I've looked at some videos from last year, and I can't believe all you guys let me keep that nappy hair for so long. Like I look way better now with the short hair, so I'll be keeping this going forward.
We'll go next to Mackenzie.
Just wondering if you could share what your draft experience was like, as we're just a day away now, and I'll have a quick follow-up too.
Yeah, no, I got to spend it back at home, and I was we were talking about it actually today. We were throwing with some of the guys, and I was very excited to be able to spend it back at home with the people I grew up with and the people that believed in me, and being able to get drafted by the Chiefs and the team I wanted to draft me and draft me in the 10th overall. It was super exciting, and you're so nervous all day long. I remember I played a round of golf in the morning, and I don't remember one shot from that golf round. You're just trying to keep your mind off of it. But then you live out your dream and you find out where you're going to go. And I've got to do it with the people that were special to me, and not a moment that I'll have and they'll have for the rest of their lives.
And then just one last thing. How much feedback do you give on maybe some of these draft prospects?
Yeah, I talked to Brett Veach a ton about just the guys that he's looking at and the thought process of the draft. But I'll let those guys make the decisions. I mean, Coach Reed's done it for a long time. Veach has done it for a long time. They've gotten a lot of great players around me. And if they want me to give my input on guys, I'll watch film and give input. But at the end of the day, they know what's best for the team, and they're going to go out there and pick the guys they think are going to make us or keep us Super Bowl contenders.
We've got 2 left. Go back to Sam McDowell.
Patrick, you mentioned Hollywood Brown. What was just the disappointment of not having him for the full year after the training camp he had, and what's the excitement to have him back?
Yeah, no, I mean, y'all saw it in training camp how special of a football player he is, and did everything the right way. was in the building early, was in the building late, was teaching other guys. And for him to get injured in kind of a freak deal there, the first play of the preseason, it stung. But I was happy to have him back at the end of the season and him to kind of get back in within the offense. I think now with hopefully him having a full off season and training camp and keep staying healthy and continuing to grind through, his role will expand even more. I mean, it's hard to throw guys in at the end of the season and try to give him a huge role. And I think you can see when he gets the football in his hands and he has a huge role in our offense, it makes everybody go. And so excited for him. Also that receiving room just in general, all really good friends and all want each other to have success. And I think he can be one of the better receiver rooms in this league with the guys that we have in it.
Last one. Go ahead, Vahe.
Patrick, I wonder how you balanced after the season, sort of decompressing and recovering versus getting right back on it, and how fast you sort of got back into getting ready for another season.
Yeah, I mean, I got back into it pretty quickly. I mean, when you end in the Super Bowl, you don't have a lot of time to get away. But I had a baby. I just had a baby, so I got to spend time with the baby a little bit more and spend time with my kids. And then kind of just started getting workouts back in. And I have a good way of kind of working out first and throwing on my own first. And by the time the guys get here, I feel like I'm in a good spot. And so got away for a little bit, but we're back at it now. And glad a lot of these guys have came down to Texas. I mean, we've had pretty much everybody down here at least one day or a couple. And so we've gotten some good work in. We'll finish that up these next week or two, and then we'll get to Kansas City. And I'm excited to get back and get back into the swing of things.
Thank you, Patrick.
All right, so that was Patrick Mahomes talking about how the offseason really down in Texas has been going with some of the wide receivers that he's been working with. We'll react to just one or two comments that he made there. Coming up on the other side, we'll get to what's trending. We'll also get right back on the Royals, who had just one of the wilder games of the young 2025 season.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby.